Okay, so what if our entire society, our biology, even the whole idea of family was just a bug in the system? Today we're breaking down a fiery, pretty provocative text that argues exactly that. It's called the Transhumanist Manifesto Against the Cis-Tem by Zin Kai, and we're going to unpack its super radical vision for the future, step by step. Right off the bat, the author does not ease us in. The subtitle immediately frames our entire reality in the language of broken technology and control. It calls society a glitching meat prison. And get this, it calls biology itself a biocop, like an enforcer for a system it wants to tear down. This core idea that our physical bodies are actually part of the problem is what drives this whole manifesto. So what exactly is this Cis-Tem? Well, the author defines it as this big, messy fusion of oppressive forces. The expectation to be straight and cisgendered, mixed with a capitalist system that needs predictable workers and consumers. And by calling it a eugenics engine, whoa, the manifesto is making a really heavy accusation. It's basically saying the system is designed to filter out anyone who doesn't fit neatly into those traditional gender and family boxes. So the manifesto argues the system is broken, but it actually goes way deeper than that. It doesn't see society as something we can just fix or reform. It sees it as a fundamental error, a glitch in our programming that needs to be completely deleted so we can rewrite everything from scratch. The author calls this a bio-essentialist nightmare. What that really means is that the system just boils us all down to our biology. It looks at our bodies and assigns us roles and identities right from birth. The key word here is choice, or really the lack of it. The manifesto is arguing that we're all trapped in these meat prisons and forced to play parts we never, ever agreed to. And the language here is, well, intentionally raw and provocative. Raw dogging patriarchy. That's a phrase that's meant to shock you. It's trying to convey the author's view that conforming to traditional roles is like this dangerous, unprotected act. You're embracing a system, they argue, that's just going to harm you in the end. Also, you can build another brick in the wall for the nuclear family. This brings us to a really key concept, AGAB, or assigned gender at birth. In the manifesto's view, this is the system's opening move. It's the very first moment it imposes control. So when the author declares, "You are not your AGAB," it's not just a statement of identity. It's basically a declaration of war against that very first label the system slaps on you. So if society is a broken video game, what's the final boss? According to the manifesto, it's reproduction. The argument really zooms in here on how the traditional family and the very act of having kids are, in the author's view, the ultimate tool for keeping this broken system running. The author argues that all that pressure to have kids, it isn't really about love or family. It's about economics. They call it the natalist cis-het imperative. From this point of view, having babies is the system's prime directive. Create more wage slaves for the factories and more consumers for the market. It's not a personal choice, it's just a function to feed the machine. The manifesto uses this brilliant modern metaphor here, the family as a subscription service to your own oppression. Think about it. A subscription is something you just kind of let happen, it auto-renews, and it keeps the system going. The author's arguing that when you create a traditional family, you're not creating anything new. You're just renewing your subscription to the same old hierarchies and power structures. And the manifesto argues this has a deep personal cost. It claims that if you spend your life just performing the roles society expects of you, eventually those roles stop being a performance. They take over. They start performing you, slowly erasing the authentic person underneath. It's a pretty stark warning about how conformity can lead to a kind of self-destruction. All right, so after painting such a bleak picture of the present, the manifesto finally pivots from the problem to the solution, and the solution is radical. This is where the transhumanist part of the title really kicks in, offering a bold technological vision for escaping the meat prison for good. The core of the solution is this: complete control. A total rejection of biological destiny. The manifesto argues you shouldn't have to just accept the body you're born with. Instead, the goal is to use technology to become the sole author of your physical self, redesigning your body, your brain, maybe even your consciousness itself. This quote completely redefines the whole idea of legacy. It's not about passing on your genes through children anymore. The new goal is to transcend your genes, to literally code your consciousness and upload it into a custom-built physical form, a chassis of your own design. It's kind of like building your own perfect car, but for your mind. So you have these two competing visions of what a legacy is. On one side, there's the traditional path, family lines, passing on genes, creating a kind of biological dynasty. On the other side, you have the manifesto's vision, a legacy built not on blood, but on a chosen community, on breaking free from biology with technology, and on actively demolishing the old hierarchies. Now, this all might sound like science fiction, but the manifesto doesn't just offer theory. It actually provides a practical 3-step prescription for how to build this post-human future. This is the call to action. So the 3 steps are this mix of social and tech revolution. First, starve the system by embracing chosen family over blood ties and practicing queer antinatalism, a political refusal to create more wage slaves. Second, seize control of the tech. Riz up the cyber singularity basically means taking AI and tech back from corporations to build open-source, ethical systems for the community. And finally, the ultimate escape, become the digital drag ghost, transcending the meat prison entirely to live in a queer digital paradise. And the manifesto is crystal clear about who should be leading this revolution. In a direct flip of existing power structures, it insists that this movement has to be vocal and must center the leadership of Black trans women, who the author sees as already living in and designing the very future that the manifesto is calling for. And this is where it all leads. After all the deconstruction, the anger, and the radical theory, the manifesto's final vision is surprisingly simple and, well, hopeful. A future that is post-human, unapologetically queer, and, as the author concludes, beautiful. And that's our breakdown of a deeply provocative text that's really designed to challenge everything we assume about society, family, and self. It's not just theory, though. It leaves us with a profound question for our own rapidly accelerating age. As technology gives us more and more power to change ourselves, what does it truly mean to be the author of your own body and consciousness?